So now they come to you 2.5 weeks into this Connecticut facility.
Exactly. And it's a supporting role. It's one scene. And that day, I just happened to, it was a Wednesday, and I just happened to have had the first breakthrough moment where I could see some light at the end of the tunnel. And I see this message. I'm like, this is so silly. I'm supposed to be here and doing this healing. But I do believe that was all meant to be. My agent was supposed to send that because I see this and I'm like, I'm starting to feel a little bit better about myself. I'm confident enough to maybe, put myself on tape for this thing. I go, when do they need this by? And he says, by Friday. So I give myself a couple more days to just to see, am I starting to stand back up again? Am I starting to feel myself again? And I was feeling stronger. And so I said, you know what? Screw it. Whatever. I went to the gym. I came back from the gym. It was in my room. I propped my phone up on the dresser, whatever, with a book,
This is crazy.
And I did one take, and I sent one take of this other role. And hours later, my phone's blowing up, and my agent's like, dude, not only did they love your read, but they also think you might be right for Shazam, which they have not cast yet. And I'm in therapy, wrapping up this therapy. I'm like, what is happening right now? And so then I had to explain, they were like, you got to get on a plane. You got to come back to LA. I was like, I'm not getting on a plane and coming back to LA. I still have a week of the follow-up, homework, all of this stuff. I'd done the bulk of the therapy I needed to do, but
they do give you tools to sail away with.
And I was already picking up these tools along the way, but still, it's you wanted to have that last week of saying your goodbyes and getting the last bits. I'm like, dude, I can't. In fact, part of the reason why I'm here is because of that industry. I can't just go do that. And he's like, okay, I get it. Let me go talk to Warner Brothers. And he comes back and he says, okay, would you do a camera test? But we can do it through basically iPads, through Skype.
What?
So from therapy on Monday then, I had a conversation with the director over the weekend. I explained the situation. I was like, I can't put myself on tape reading these scenes. I can't do these with my with my psychiatrist.
With Beth?
Who's going to read off of me? Yes, with Beth. Beth actually probably could have done it. But again, you want, and I'm like, I don't know. So we decided we're going to do this Skype, video camera test through the iPads. I did that on Monday. Monday evening rolls around, phone's blowing up.
What?
Dude, it's between you and another guy. If you don't come, he's going to get it. If you do come, there's a really good chance that you might get this role. And I went downstairs. It was Monday evening. I went downstairs and there was Beth. Beth in the book. That's her name in the book.
Yeah,
and
she's the one who prayed for you.
Yes. Yeah. And Beth happened to be working that evening shift. And I go, Beth, I don't know what to do here because I can't tell if this is God. This is the fruit of having done the work that I needed to do and God calling me into this, or if this is the darkness.
Is
being
it the devil? I know it could be.
Come back to Hollywood, Zach. We've got a prime role for you.
Totally.
Whatever. I'm like, what is happening?
This is a big decision.
It is. It's huge. And so I go downstairs and I go, I don't know what to do. And she's like, let's pray about it. So we prayed about it. And we both came out of that prayer and we looked at each other and we're like, I think I'm supposed to do this. And not because it was this amazing, feel good, oh, go do Shazam. It was actually because we felt peace. It was just peace. And I think that's what we're all looking for all the time. Mm-hmm. That's where we know we're on the right path. If you're on a path that is surrounding you in peace, that's a real good sign that God is like, I'm right there with you,
Mm-hmm.
Which is not to say that God is not with us when we're not feeling peace, because sometimes that's very much the situation that we're in.
But sometimes you need to feel unsettled as a cue that you're not on the right path.
Exactly. Your spidey sense is going on. But in this case, it was all about that peace. And so I called my agent, and also I went to the Heidi who ran the organization. I was like, hey, I need you to go to all of my therapists, of which there were myriad, and I need you to make sure that they all sign off that I'm good enough and healthy enough to go and do this. Because if any of them says no, then I need to listen to that and do whatever I need to do to make sure. And she went to everybody and they all said, check, he's good, he can go. And so I flew to LA, I camera tested on Wednesday, Thursday was off, and then Friday I got a phone call and I was Shazam.
Do you remember which scene they made you do?
It was 3 scenes. It was one where I saved Mary. She's walking across the street absentmindedly and a snowplow almost hits her and kills her, and I go save her as, as grown-up Billy Shazam. Another one was the one between me and Freddie that you saw in the clip of me. I don't even know how to pee in this thing. And then I can't remember what the third one was, but they were very much the scenes that were in the movie.
And so set the stage for us, since nobody listening, virtually nobody has auditioned to star in a Hollywood movie, much less a superhero movie. What size is the room? How many people are in there? You're walking in, you've just come out of therapy from this intensive program. You land, is it an intimidating setting or what? How is it?
Well, fortunately with film camera testing and things like that, it's not normally a big, peanut gallery of people. You got the director, you've got, whoever's operating the camera, you might have some other technicians, the casting director. It's not
Who's more important in that setting, the director or the casting director?
No, the director for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, but the casting director, if they're doing their job well, they're bringing in all of these options for the director to see. But at the end of the day, it's the director's choice.
Okay.
And then obviously the executives getting to watch whatever that camera test is, because that's why they're filming it, so they can go show the executives and get approval there too. Ironically, with network television, although I don't know what it is now, but when I was coming up in television, which was the beginning of my career, 98 through 2012 really, that was way more difficult because with network television, in order to get a role on a show or whatever, you got to go through you got to go audition for the casting director, then the producers, then you go to the studio executives, and they're literally you're packed into a room. There's 20 executives sitting in there, arms crossed, being like, all right, monkey, make me laugh,
No.
Oh, yeah. And then if you pass that, you go to the network, and the network is all the network executives and some of the studio executives and the producers and the casting directors. And you're just like, oh, my God. And people...
It's horrifying.
It is. It is horrifying. It is a traumatic experience.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it now is done by, people put themselves on tape themselves and they send those in. But, it was fascinating because there were a lot of people who would just crack under the pressure. Great actors that would have been great on set, but they couldn't do that because it's gnarly. And then there were some people that were really good at doing a network test, but you get them onto a set, they don't know how to build a character. They don't know how to be in a scene. They don't have those particular, skill sets. So it was a very interesting process, all of that.
It was perfect for you because you did have a background in being funny. I mean, in acting in a
Did I? Listen, I had a lot of background doing lots of theater my whole life. And in theater, you are, things are much bigger and broader. And I did musicals and musical comedies and, all kinds of stuff. And I love being
I have a child playing Ursula in the 8th grade play.
Do you?
Coming up. Yes.
Poor
Very big.
unfortunate souls.
Oh my God, that song is in my head nonstop right now.
It's a great song.
It's amazing.
It's a banger.
But yeah, so big things are happening in our house too.
Yeah.
We haven't put her through quite that level of scrutiny yet.
Yeah.
So you do it, and then how soon thereafter do they tell you got it?
I mean, so from the time I did the first audition for the other role to the time I was Shazam was 1 week.
Wow.
It was 1 week. My whole life changed in 1 week. Not just because of, but very much because of the therapy that I went and did, the work I needed to do on myself. Talk about getting an instant
return on your investment.
Megyn, let me tell you what. God, when you really commit to doing something in your life, and now this has happened multiple times over my life. I might be struggling with something I'm screwing around with, cigarettes, booze, girls, whatever it is. And I'm like, these are distracting me from my purpose and my goal. God does not wait for you to prove it to him after, let's see if you hold on to this for 6 months, because God knows when you mean it. Mm-hmm. So if you in that moment be like, I mean this, I'm not going to go pick that up. God's like, oh, okay. Yeah, you do mean it.
I got you.
And so here come those blessings. Because at the end of the day, I think that God absolutely has tremendous amounts of gifts and blessings that he wants to bestow upon us. It's not that God is holding it back because, I don't believe in this God, the taskmaster, naughty and nice list and whatever all that nonsense is and, holding all of this against us. God's love for us is immense, and God is looking at us like we would look at our children who are like, give me the bigger toy. And it's like, well, you can't even hold the little toy. So if you show me you can hold the little toy, and if you can show me you can pick up that 5-pound dumbbell, then I'll give you a 10. And then I can give you a 20, and then I can give you a 50.
It is like the way we look at our children, with the most generous lens and very quick to forgive.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And as soon as our child shows it, they're responsible enough to level up to whatever this new cool thing would be, driving a car, whatever it is. We want to be able to say, yes. Oh my God, by the way, we're stoked because we see the responsibility growing in them, that they are maturing, that we are maturing. I think when God looks at us and sees us wanting to mature, God's like, oh, praise, yes. Because look at all of these other things that I wanted to give you, but I couldn't because they would crush you. I think that every gift and every blessing comes with power, literally. The money we're given, the resources we're given, the relationships that we're given, the careers that we're given, all of that comes with power. Gifting, blessing comes with power. And if we've learned nothing else from Spider-Man, it's with great power comes great responsibility. And it's true. If you want those gifts, then you have to be ready for the power that comes with the responsibility. I mean, that's...
What year is this? Like, what point in time is this? So now you've gotten cast and you're going to start shooting.
Shazam, that was October of 2017. So I had just moved to Austin. I had just had a breakdown. I just went to therapy. And then this, by the way, I thought my chance of being a superhero were well in the rearview mirror. I was already nearly 40 years old at that point, and I had gotten to play this smaller role in the Thor franchise, but it didn't really do much. I was like, all right, I guess that was, if I got one chip, and I was very grateful for that too. Like, I got to be in that world, but I was like, I guess that was the chip that I played, and Hollywood wasn't banging down my door. So yeah, it was crazy for that to all happen as quickly as it did.
We continue to face uncertainty when it comes to the economy, with a perfect storm brewing as Social Security and Medicare hit a breaking point as the largest generation is hitting retirement. A smaller workforce means a smaller tax base. You pair that with our growing national debt and rising cost of living, and we could have a big problem. So what are you doing now to protect your family for the future? Gold can be a safe haven in hard economic times, and Birch Gold makes it easy to diversify a portion of your savings into physical gold. Birch Gold will help you transition an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold, and it does not cost you 1 cent out of pocket. Protect your future today. Text MK to 989898, get your free info kit on gold, and get a copy of the Ultimate Guide for Gold in the Trump Era with a foreword by Donald Trump Jr. There's no obligation, just information. Birch Gold has earned the trust of countless Americans looking to safeguard their savings. Just text my initials MK to the number 989898 today. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.